Hello, welcome friends. Hello. My name is Sheree. This is my page, Homestead Believer. Welcome. Today, we're going to be making some homemade ketchup on the stove. Fun times. I'll wait and see if somebody comes on. If not, I'll just continue. That's fine. Anybody can watch the replay. So, we actually make ketchup here instead of buying ketchup. I think I might have made this once before on a live, but believe it or not, we already used it up. So, it's summertime, so I guess, hot dogs, hamburgers, ketchup. So that's what I decided. Instead of just making it today, I figured I'd make it with you guys. So, like I said, this is Homestead Believers, my page. Welcome, I'm Sheree. My husband Patrick may make an appearance, may not, who knows, but you never know. Well, while I wait to see if anybody comes on, I think I'm just going to start putting the things into my pan. First thing first, tomato paste. You can definitely make ketchup with tomatoes, but I'm sorry, I don't feel like spending 15 million hours trying to, there's a dot in my pan. I thought it was something. I think it's just a dot. I don't feel like spending 15 million hours waiting for tomatoes to cook down to the point of paste. It's like a really, and actually it's not even just that they cook down. It's actually a process getting tomato paste. So I'm doubling the real recipe. Well, actually, no, I'm doubling the double. I'm doubling the doubled recipe. Because I usually double the recipe. I'm trying to move you guys close. Sorry, I don't mean to make anybody sick. I double it. I usually double it, but I'm doubling the doubled recipe. It's a quadruple recipe. So, double recipe, I use 2 cans of tomato paste. So, because I'm doubling the doubled, ooh, that's a piece of metal. Gotta be careful of that. Because I'm doubling the doubled, I'm using 4 cans. Does that make sense? Doubling the doubled? So I'm just putting the tomato paste in first. And honestly, this is just going to be a quick and easy thing because it's quick and easy to make ketchup. It's very quick and easy to make ketchup. Believe it or not. But I'll tell ya, people ask all the time, why make ketchup? I'll tell you 2 reasons why I make my own ketchup. First and foremost is taste. You will not taste anything like it. It does not taste anything like the store-bought kind. I can't even stand the taste of store-bought ketchup. That's first and foremost. Secondly, when I read the ingredients on a ketchup bottle and it said natural seasoning, well, I know what natural seasoning is. And I'm sorry, I don't want to eat that. It's a lot of nastiness. I do not want to eat natural seasoning. So, that's why I make ketchup. I see somebody's on. If you're on, say hello. We're just making homemade ketchup. And right now I'm just putting the tomato paste in the pan. So easy. This is actually not even going to be, I'm not going to be on with you long because it's so easy to do this. It's insane. It's like super duper easy. The only reason I didn't do it yesterday is because it was like 90 degrees here and humid, and this has to boil on the stove for 20 minutes. And we don't have air conditioning because normally we don't need it. We'd only use it, if we ever used it, it would be like yesterday. Like we don't get a lot of hot days here like that. So, sorry, don't mean to get in y'all's way. So I have the ketchup in there. So now I need a cup of honey. Like I said, I'm quadrupling this, so I need a cup of honey. This is local honey. From our local farmer. Whoopsie. It's just from our local farmer. It's just raw honey. Move you back over here. Ooh, I got this on my finger and it's so you just need a cup of honey for the quadrupled recipe. This will make like about 2 pints of ketchup, which goes a long way. I think I'm going to get a rubber spatula. Scrape that out, because you can't waste all that goodness. You have to use all that goodness. I hope y'all can see. You got to use all this goodness. And it's good for you. Local honey is good for you. Now I will add the vinegar, which I need. Ooh. I have apple cider vinegar. I don't know if I got a second one in there. I'll have to look. I need 2 cups of vinegar. Might have to grab another one. Or mix it with white vinegar. I'm sure I got white vinegar. It doesn't matter if you use white or apple cider either. I've mixed the 2 before, and it tastes the same. Yeah, let me see if I got another bottle in there. I don't have another bottle in there, so I will just use the white vinegar. I'll just finish it off with white vinegar. Like I said, I've done this before, so it's no big deal. Add your vinegar. And then you need 2 tablespoons of sugar. See, guys, this is going pretty fast because this is it's actually really easy to make ketchup. It's really easy to make ketchup. 2 tablespoons of sugar. And if you don't want your ketchup sweet, if you have problems with sugar, you can use agave in place of the sugar and the ketchup. If you have problems with sugar, so you can most definitely replace it with agave. That's perfectly fine. Oh, I'm gonna add my salt. I'm just adding sea salt. You can add the salt of your choice. I always say, my rule's my kitchen, your rule's your kitchen. It's 3 teaspoons of salt. For this recipe, mind you, I'm quadrupling it, so. This is a pretty big batch, so. And onion powder. Woo! I thought that was gonna explode. Just before I came on, y'all, I went to get the garlic powder. And I went like this to shake it. I'm not even gonna do it right now. I got my finger on it. I went like this to shake it. The top popped off. garlic powder everywhere. That's how I smell. I mean, so I'm not gonna have any problems with vampires today. Garlic powder everywhere. And running around trying to get the hand vac, cleaning everything up. It's like, oh man, garlic powder catastrophe. It was funny. It was funny. All right, the recipe calls for, like, it'll say a teaspoon, like the 4 is a teaspoon. I'm gonna tell you right now, when it comes to the garlic and onion powder, I literally just I just scoop it and dump it. Well, actually, the garlic, yeah, it calls for a teaspoon for this. I literally, like, what's the difference? It's spice. I literally just scoop to my liking and dump, because it doesn't matter to me. It's spice, and I like spice. Push back on the stove so you can see what I'm doing. I mean, a little. I really do just kind of scoop it. I don't like precisely measure. But like I said, my kitchen, my rules. Your kitchen, your rules. I feel like I'm still sprigging garlic powder everywhere. Oh my word! Like I said, I'm not gonna have no problems with vampires tonight. Same here. It says a teaspoon. I just scoop to my heart's desire. Season with your heart. That's what I say. Season with your heart. And last but not least of all of it, a little honey on this. Let's see if I can get it off with my spatula. I saw that on a commercial once, and I laughed, and I've been calling it since. So this calls for a cup of water. One cup of water. And now we will stir. I'll turn my flame on. I think I got garlic powder all over the stove. Oh, man. It's kind of thick, so with all the honey and the tomato paste, it's kind of thick at first. But once you mix in all the water and the vinegar, it starts to get thinner. And I use a whisk because I think it works it together quicker. And you don't have like chunks of tomato paste or honey or nothing in there. You're just getting what you're doing, you know? And that's it. Just stir it till, or I just whisk. And I'm not like whipping it. I'm just whisking it so it's not chunky. And once I notice, that thing is hot on my hand. Once I notice it looks smooth and it's not chunky, I know we're good to go. Well, 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 would you look at that? It's starting to look like ketchup. It is starting to look like ketchup. Still see a few chunks, but we're almost there. We're almost there. Whoop, whoop. Ooh. Making my hand tired. My arm, I mean. It's thick. It's giving me a workout. But believe it or not, it's not thick enough. It has to cook. You let it simmer for 20 minutes. You bring it up to a boil, and then you let it simmer for 20 minutes. And then turn it off. I don't let it cool all the way, but I turn it off until it stops bubbling and stuff. And I do stir it a couple of times in between so it doesn't scorch. But I keep the flame on very, very low. I just simmer it for 20 minutes, and that's where all the flavors married together, and all the sugar, the honey, and all that has a chance to work. And then you can put it in once it's cool enough to pour. It doesn't have to be cold or cool. It's just cool enough that you can pour it without it bubbling all over. Check that out, guys. Doesn't it look like ketchup? It's pretty awesome. Ooh, I hope I'm not making y'all dizzy. I'm sorry. But that's it. I'll just bring this up to a boil, and I'm going to stir it until it comes to a boil. I'm just getting my dishes in the sink. Yeah, this looks nice and smooth already. But you gotta let it simmer for 20 minutes. All the flavors will marry together, all those sugars will start working. The sugars in the tomatoes and the starch in the tomatoes and the sugars from the honey and the regular sugar. It all just kind of does its little chemical work. And then once it is cooled in the refrigerator, it comes out literally like nice, thick ketchup. As a matter of fact, I'll show y'all. Hold on, I'll show y'all. Where is it? Oof. I'll show you guys. Hold on. I have to stare at the stove. This is actually... Ooh, I almost spilled it. This is actually what's left of the last batch of ketchup. And it's nice, see? Nice thick ketchup. And it tastes so good. Tastes so good. Tastes great, like, anytime you need ketchup. Like, my husband uses it for pizza bagels in the morning, but it's great on a hamburger, hot dog, on meatloaf. Like, anytime you see ketchup as a seasoning, you can use it as a base to make homemade barbecue sauce. Like, you can use this ketchup as a base for a lot of things. It doesn't have to just be ketchup. Like, maybe that's what I'll do next. Maybe I'll take some of this and turn it into homemade barbecue sauce. I'll share that with you guys. I'll make some homemade barbecue sauce with the ketchup base. Because that's what you can consider it, a ketchup base. So I'm just kind of waiting for this to start heating through a little bit. And I'll stir it here and there. And another thing you really do want to, when it's simmering, make sure you put a lid on. Make sure you put a lid on. That it will spit everywhere and it is not fun to clean. Make sure you put a lid on your pan. It's important to put a lid on. It will spit and spatter, and it's important to put a lid on. But it also keeps all that stuff in there. See, it's starting to bubble, bubble, bubble. I don't know if y'all can see it, but it's starting to bubble. Once it starts bubbling, I'm just going to turn it down, put my lid on, and let it simmer. Once it starts really bubbling. It's getting there. It's starting to spit and spatter. And I don't want it to spit and spatter all over the stove and the cupboards and all over the place. You don't want it spitting and spattering. But we're honestly almost there. Like, I know this seems real thin right now compared to what the other one was that I just showed, but honestly, it gets thick like that after you cook it for a while and then put it in the refrigerator. And it stays in the refrigerator for about 6 months. I don't know. I never had it last that long, but I think it said on the recipe that it stays for about 6 months. I've never had it last that long. It's too good. You can see it's starting to spit a little bit, so now I'm going to put the lid on, turn my flame down. I got to make sure it continues to simmer. I'll turn my flame down. Excuse me. Ooh, you're cooking. And I'll let that simmer for about 20 minutes. I'm just checking to make sure it's still bubbling. I'm going to let it simmer for 20 minutes, and then I will turn it off, and when it stops bubbling real hard, I'll put it in jars, and I will take a picture of the jars, and I will post them on the page when it's all said and done. I told you this was going to be a quick one, so I hope you enjoyed this. I hope to inspire you. I hope everybody has a blessed day. And thanks for joining me. Have a good day.